Welcome to the show. Hold on, Will. I got you. I'm trying to test something here. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. If you are wanting to check out the charts and our beautiful faces, tune into the stream right now. We're live on We're live on Twitch and we're live on X. Yeah, pull up.
Yeah, I don't like this. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like this. I'm gonna go back to that.
Anyway, welcome
to the show. Thank you for being here. What We're Exposed goes live every single day right here on X and Twitch, 7 o'clock Eastern.
Your hostess with the most,
Denise, and the one, the fucking only Outlook. Okay,
you called the bottom in 2021. You called everything. Your favorite guru, your favorite P&L follows them. Okay, your favorite P&L post literally follows Will for everything that he said. Do you think you're going to give any credit?
No.
We'll give credit here.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I have comments. I'm giving away $50.
All you have to do is drop a comment to qualify into that $50 giveaway. So right at 100 comments, boom, I pick a random person. Tons of shit to go into, tons of topics. Monad dropped today. Super hype about that. Shout out to that airdrop. Nah, but no, for real, thank you. Like any month we get free money.
We're grateful.
So thank you very much. Also, if you are in the Monad trenches, you've been trading today, pull up. I want to hear your experience so far. I want to hear how it's been for you.
Sorry, you're fucking everything up, Will.
So definitely pull up and talk about that. If you are working on something new that you think is worth being discussed, definitely pull up. If you come in, try to shill and just sound fucking just dumb, I'm just gonna put you off stage. And then also want to talk about prediction markets and pretty much where I see this new meta going. Shout out to Mike. He had pinged a coin earlier. It fucking shot to $1 billion right away. It happens to be some new prediction market, but I see some sort of forming kind of like in the day when thought, yeah, you're gonna drop that game. Let's
buy that coin, not realizing how long and how much it actually takes to build a game.
So I just see different metas and like what's the word? Theories and things like that
forming.
I'm trying to fix it.
I'm trying to go back to our regular squares, bro. What kind of fuck? Now we got the fucking. I don't want the circles.
Jesus. All right. Anyway, yeah. So thank you for coming through and being a part of the show. We've been going live for it's been like 3 or 4 years, dude. I can't even believe that. I genuinely can't believe that. There is people. I'll say this. There is people that tune in just to see if we're still running. Yeah, feel bad for those fucking people. Imagine that you're tuning into something just to see somebody doing something.
God damn it.
We're fucking trendsetters. We are literally your favorite KRL. We're literally your favorite everything. Trend fucking setters. If this bothers you, if this is affecting you, if this is irking your nerves on your farm, the fucking wear that shoe. Wear that shit. Bitch. Anyway,
hello. Check from my phone. How's it going over there?
I'm good. Just looking at where we're at and what we're doing. Yeah, I mean, as far as markets go, Bitcoin right now is kind of in an interesting spot. We're at previous consolidation range high. Retesting that, we got to get through basically 89K. I'd say get up to like 90, something like that, relatively. If we can get up to like 90, we'll be kind of breaking through this range. We literally pretty much stopped the high here. I think the previous was like right around like 88, 870. We got just above that. And we're also at previous consolidation range right here too. We're kind of at that low also. So we're kind of fighting a couple different resistances here. Again, that 90K should flip us. I'd really like to see like 90, 95. And then you got a FVG sitting up around 100, both on a daily, weekly. So for those who don't know, FVG is a fair value gap. It's basically where price just kind of ran through a range and never really bounced. And whenever you get things like that, the price tends to come back and revisit those ranges. That's why I told a lot of people, like, hey, don't really kind of sell the breakdown, wait for the bounce. And then, if we're going into a bear, the reality is you can sell much higher on the bounce than, trying to sell into the drawdown. The drawdown is usually the wrong place to be trying to sell. And keep in mind, too, something I spoke about, I believe it was last week or I think it was a week before. I did say if we broke 100K, it's lights out, and it really went lights out really fast. Once we broke that 100K range, I think once we hit like 98, 97, then we got the waterfall move. That's what these tend to be, which is heavy drawdown really fast. You can't react emotionally to drawdown. You just have to kind of sit and wait when drawdown occurs. And then you got to kind of react once market kind of reaccumulates back into certain ranges. So it means like if we get back up to 100K, if you're still questionable of bull or bear, what you should do ideally is start taking profit around that range. And then, if we start seeing resistance, that would be a good spot to where you could take profit and still be decently okay. And then, if we get up to 120, 125 and price starts breaking above 100, which it should ideally, if it breaks back up above 100, it's likely to retest the highs. You could shave a little bit off the top left there too. Likely, even if the market ends up creating another higher high, this is kind of the area in the market where I'm going to start, shaving pretty heavily regardless. So, for me, again, I think, looking at everything, markets still structurally seem okay as far as like S&P and everything else. Like nothing's really collapsing here that I can see. Stock market still looks pretty healthy. Even Aster, and I know you remember this profits, and I know Cam did. I drew this chart up here, and it's been playing perfectly in between these ranges for quite some time. Pretty much even before the breakdown, this was already drawn, these two FEG levels, and we saw price kind of level right on into those, use it as resistance, come back into it as support, and now we're kind of seeing it, kind of wobble sideways. So nothing too crazy. I would say, like, even if you look at something like BNB, for instance, like, you could likely come down and retest the high of like 730, but like, are you going to break down further than that? That's hard to say, to be honest with you. I think a lot of things are actually looking pretty good. If you look at ETH, for instance, ETH's in a pretty interesting spot too. Came down, basically retested the bull channel breakout. So you had the breakout bull channel, came down, perfectly retested the bull channel breakout. And if it can push off of this, it can go higher. But it needs to really push off of this. You need to recapture roughly around 4K. If you get back above 4K, everything goes higher, in my opinion. If you start resisting and you come up to, say, about 3,500 and you can't really break that range, then you'll probably hit the lower high and you'll roll. Even Solana, we were talking about this one too, profits is something else we talked about. I think Michael was another one that was kind of chatting on this too. The range, right? The range is really disgusting. It's like they love to play this 120, get you super scared. They touch it and then they bid. And they literally came down, touched the 120, bounced off it. This is like a 3-year range for Solana. And if they push back up, again, 195, 200. It's a really simple range. You just can't be too scared to buy. Basically, when you hit in that 120 range, a lot of people get really scared down here. People never tend to bid down here. A lot of people tend to bid up at the highs. Even some altcoins I've seen some pretty decent bounces on lately. I even saw some meme coins running a little bit, which is pretty interesting in an environment where everybody thinks it's over. Another thing I was watching too is Workhorse. So this is a good indication of risk too. This stock specifically, I think is pretty much cooked, but I think they're going to make another run for it. I think they're going to fill this wick, push it back up to like $5, $6. They're definitely they played this at, basically pushed everybody up to like 5, rolled it back down to 50 cents, and now they're running it back up to $1, coming back into the consolidation range, looking like they're going to push it higher. I'm definitely seeing some activity. On risk. Which is where I'm kind of looking to capitalize the most. I think the hardest one here is BYND. but you still got a bit of a gap to fill here. So you got a gap down here, basically on the daily, where it should ideally come down like 74 cents. I think you get into that range. You're going to be looking at something similar. It already filled the weekly gap here, so that's pretty good. And then I would say like Rivian here is probably one of the better looking stocks out of everything. This honestly looks like the PLTR play. Totally different type of company, but the chart setup very similar to what I was looking at when I was looking at PLTR, which is basically where we were playing into the low, and then we started building long, and then we eventually broke off of that build long, right? And then if we look over here again at Rivian, throw it on the same time frame, right? We started building into the low, starting to build long, and I think we're going to break off of that long. So I think like a call side position on Rivian makes sense. Still holding those calls myself, the ones I got into. I haven't been in the red at all on my call side positions. Like even with market drops, market pullbacks, all that stuff. I've been in the green the entire time on these calls. I think I literally caught the bottom of the call position for this on the ones I picked out. So these have been really good call side positions. The breakout on this should be pretty big because like if you look here, the build is like crazy. It's really small moves on a long build, and then you got RSI building with the chart pattern here. So it's looking like this looks like it wants to be an explosive move at some point. If I end up getting kind of not crushed, but if I don't make a lot on these call positions and I have to take other ones later on because it doesn't move in the next 3-4 months, which is where my call positions close out, then I'll just re-up on my call positions again because I am anticipating those to get a breakout. Again, just very similar, right? You start to get these slow, methodical moves, and then you get the big breakout candle. This is where you really capitalize. You can hold calls longer, but you'll get data decay, which is not really good or ideal. So typically, if you get a big God candle like this on something like this, just take the money and then flip the positions into something else, or take longer dated for other plays, but always watch out for theta decay. Overall, again, just markets. The only thing that's kind of eyeballing a little bit is Lucid. Lucid was a bull div, broke down more, so that's kind of a problem. Retested the lows. And another thing too with Bitcoin, kind of getting back into that one, I think you're going to kind of chop here a little bit. This is going to be a hard resistance to get through. That 90K is going to be a fear factor for a lot of people. And so you may see another week or two of sideways price action below 90K, which means you could chop to like 80, 86, whatever, what you've been chopping here. And then you can come back up to 90, 86, 90. You'll likely chop in the consolidation range we've already created. And the lowest point here was 81. I don't think they're going to take you back down that low again. Or actually 80. And I think like a lot of people here are going to try and say this is the lower high roll, but you've got FVGs above that I think are going to get recaptured. I'm decently confident we're going to likely hit 100K again, right? And then the hard part is to tell, are we going to flip that range? That's going to be the difficult part to tell. But I think if you get to 100K, let it kind of play out for a week or two, and then kind of see where things are from there. And then I think you'll be in a better position. But definitely market's not cooked. I think overall, these are better conditions than most. Look, even Aster right here is pulling off really nicely there. These are better conditions than most bear markets that we tend to go into. Like 2022, obviously, that bear market was a really kind of easy one to see coming due to rate hikes that were coming, and the Fed saying that basically inflation was transitory. Biggest joke I've ever heard in my life. When you're sitting around like 5% when he said that, and then we ended up at 9 by the time they ended up actually raising. But I think overall, again, just environment's different. Banks are fine. Housing market's fine. Car market's fine. No, nothing is really looking to collapse. I'm seeing Michael Burry posts again. And if you know Michael Burry, then you know. If you don't know Michael Burry, he called the Big Short, right? The one time, made a killing off of it. And he's been calling a bear market since the bottom of 2022, right? The end of 2022. He said, oh, we're going to go deeper. We're going to go deeper. We're going to go deeper. And he's been saying this now for like 3-4 years. and he's been wrong, right? Absolutely wrong. And again, it doesn't mean that people can. I'll put it this way, and I'm not trying to be an asinine. I think Michael Burry is a smart person, but people can get lucky in life, and they can get a really good play and never get another good play again. And it's the name of the game, right? We all believe that we can keep our edge forever. It's not always going to remain there. You have to shift with the market. The markets change, just like the environments change. I'm just telling you guys this so you understand kind of like what we're going through and what you got to look out for. You have to look for what president's going to be in office, what policies they're going to apply, right? Like basically, typically, I'll give you an example. An easy example is like if it's a Democrat, typically it'll be something like EVs, green energy, so on and so forth, right? If it's a Republican, and again, this is not political, it's just telling you kind of how to think about these things, then it tends to going to be like gas and other sources of energy, coal and stuff like that. And so what that does is that changes the environment of investing. So how do you shift with something like that? Well, if you're going to get a Republican president, you should probably move more towards like petroleum stocks and coal stocks and so on and so forth. And if you think in the next presidential election, you're going to get a Democrat, then you want to shift out of those things because tends to be one side of the party will kind of put a lot of pressure on the, we'll say energy, right? From one side. And then the other side of the party will put a lot of pressure on energy from the other side. And so because you understand those things, you know how to kind of navigate the market based on those things, right? And what things are affected, right? If you're getting EVs and wind and solar and all these other things, then you're going to be looking into parts that work for those things, right? That get them built. You're going to be looking for government grants for those things. So those are going to prop up the stocks and so on and so forth. So these are just different ways to kind of think about things and think about the environment you're in. And we're not in an EV environment, but I'm prepping for an EV environment, right? That's kind of the thing that I've been doing with a lot of the EV stocks that got crushed. And I think in time, those will be really good plays. Just like Palantir, right? Like I think that Palantir for me was a shift towards me understanding that they were heavy in AI and military complex. And I'm just like, okay, that's an easy one to pick out. And a lot of people didn't see the AI thing coming, and then it came. And then Palantir blew the hell up from it. These are how you can market shift and be able to make money like in a real way other than gambling and crypto all the time. I'm not saying everything in crypto is gambling, but
have you heard of great takes, by the way? Have you heard of Avicii?
What is it?
Avicii. I pinned it to the top. I think it's a privacy coin. Hyber's been shilling the shit out of that.
Avicii. I have not heard of it.
Go ahead and look it up on your beautiful charts here while I go to trap real fast, if you don't mind.
All right, that's fine.
Wait, hold on. You didn't confirm or deny if I'm correct or not. Are we in a bear market?
We don't know until we retest.
Well?
Yeah, so I was muted. We don't know until we retest. You got to get the retest. I tell people this all the time. Look for the lower high retests. Once you get the lower high retest, you'll know. Because here's the thing. If you hit 100K and you just force your way through it, you're going higher, right? If you hit 100K and you start to hesitate for like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you're likely going to roll, which means you're going lower. And then you know definitively you're in a bear market. You can never really tell a bear market until the lower high structure of the next portion of the market. Like people trying to call exact top, anybody who, or I won't say anybody, most people who were right on this spillover, they've been doing that shit every single year for the past 3 years. They've literally been calling top every single time we get to a point of pullback. And then they tell people to keep selling, and then price goes up and goes higher. And that's all that's been happening every single year. Like we get these massive 30+% pullbacks in crypto, and then price goes up 100%. 30+% pullback, 100%. 30+% pullback. And that's why I tell people, like, don't be fearful at the moment. markets aren't really indicating bear market yet. But if crypto goes into a bear market, I don't understand the reason. I just don't. Other than cycles, right? Because then at that point, it only points to cycles because the environment is not right for a bear market right now, for any markets. I mean, if somebody can explain to me why it is, I would be more than interested.
Literally, Mike said the other day,
Perfect.
just a couple months ago, we wanted it to be 70, 80K. Now it's here. Nobody wants to buy. Is everybody happy with their Monad airdrop?
I didn't even go get it.
You don't have to do anything.
It's in your wallet. It's just in your wallet. If you connect it,
did you do anything?
I got those cards.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
So then go check. Did you ever link a wallet?
I don't know.
Okay.
Well,
claim.monad.xyz.
No,
check it out.
Is that valid?
That's where I went, and I got mine.
Wait, I thought there was no claim.
You don't have to claim it. It just got dropped directly into your wallet. If you had that.
No, hold up. I went to claim.monad, and then you go through this little experience where you like hit these balls and they explode. They reward you tokens.
Nobody wants these balls exploding, man. But like, you already did that previously, though, right? Like that happened already.
That's what I'm saying. Will, you did that, right? You hooked up to claim.monad.xyz.
I did a Twitter thing and I think a wallet. I don't know. I'll have to go look.
Just go check it, man. Well, actually, as a matter of fact, just go check the wallet that you connected. If you have Monad in there, you did it. If you don't have Monad in there, you did not do it. That's it.
Yeah, I'll check it out a bit.
I forgot.
By the way, it's okay. I just raw dogged the conversation. How you doing?
No, man. We love that. How's your day going? How you been?
It's good. It's good. Busy, but head down, working, chilling. Excited for tomorrow's little pre-event, little dabble with the homies, and then of course, got big things coming up for Basel. So very excited. Good week for everybody in Miami, I think.
Big week ahead. Trap, how you feeling over there, buddy?
What's up, my friend? I'm back, fully energized. A weekend in nature. It was amazing. Had a great time. And watching this market, see what's going on, man. I sent you something today that about it, and I dug a little bit deeper. Apparently, JP Morgan has like a big short on MicroStrategy, and some people are closing their Chase accounts because they're trying to, protest against that. But that has to do with the whole the removal of strategy in any other companies from MSCI, right? Which can, be a problem, and they're expecting lower volume if that happens. So I'm kind of like tapping in and going a little bit deeper into that rabbit hole and see what happens. But I'm glad to see the market here kind of breathe a little bit, and if we can continue this breathing situation for this week, it can look a little better than it was last week, for real.
Yeah, I think the fear's out of the market, though, Trap, man. I really do. I think a lot of people are freaking out still trying to react to what happened.
Yeah, bro, I hope so. Because we went down as low as 10, bro. Look at this. I'm about to post this photo here in the comments. And look at that. Look at this. This is like worse. We've lower now than all the other three crashes together. I'm about to post this. Peep this.
You talking about percentage-wise?
Well, like the fear-wise, and then also like fear-wise for sure. And then
that always happens though. Like when you get these really volatile pullbacks from like really high price targets, it's atypical for the market to react. I mean, remember 2021, like every 20% pullback, people were freaking out, but like every pullback was 20% plus once we got up there, and that's what a lot of people tend to forget. They tend to forget the pullbacks in 2021.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a collective fear, right? It becomes stronger when more people join.
Yeah, like if you look at the first high here, I mean, this one brought us down almost 55%. Then the market rallied higher than the previous high after a 55% pullback. And that was on the double top of 2021. That's why people they can completely get this wrong and just have no clue that they can get it wrong. And I think that's why a lot of people are calling for like 130K too. It's because they're looking for that double top like in 2021. Doesn't mean we're going to get a double top, but you know, I don't think either party is wrong per se, but I think like you have to let this thing kind of like breathe and take its time before you can just say it's a bear market. Like the daily here, the RSI daily is literally floored. It's below undervalue. Like we're sitting at like 24 right now on RSI on the daily.
Will, check out that comment that I just posted there. If you can see it, is the actual SOPR. Which for the people that don't know, the SOPR tracks the profit level of all the bitcoins that move through depending on the period, right? So whether the sellers are in profit or in loss, it tracks it. And look at right now, we're in a worse position than all three previous crash, which is crazy. It's like major overreaction in my opinion, bro.
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you have to say about the fact that $4 trillion have been wiped off the market?
You mean as far as what leverage?
Is it 4 trillion or 2 trillion? Market
it's less than that because we at the peak we're 4 trillion. So I think if we probably lost like maybe 1.5. But the thing is, like, you know, in crypto, that's not like too crazy because the same way we lose 2, we get 2 more, right? But think about it, man. The stock market last Friday lost 2.5 trillion in one day. They lost an entire crypto market cap in one day. So it's crazy. I think it's big overreacting. People are overreacting big time, you know, because there's nothing that we can point to right now that created this entire crash.
I think it's man-made personally, but
leverage, right? You think it was leverage?
I think somebody saw the opportunity to sell into a position that would cause a collapse.
Yeah,
and they created this fictitiously. And
then the other people followed because the ETFs did a lot of outflows too, and now they're all buying back in.
Well, the problem is like, and here's the atypical thing you see every cycle, just about, is you get people completely way over leveraged, and they got stops, right? And all you got to do is hit one set of stops to get to the next set of stops, to get to the next set of stops, to get to the next set of stops. And when people line them up like dominoes, level by level, you can literally just hit one and cause a cascade.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you hit a level of demand, and you get a rebound.
Didn't that happen with Binance last time?
Yeah.
They had like a short liquidity on one of the stables or the pairs, and then it created another, and then another, and then we ended up. What was it? It was like the October 12th fall, right?
Yeah, and that's the crazy part that people don't understand because people don't understand leverage. They look at price and they react to price, but leverage is the reason for a lot of this. And these pretty much liquidation events cause these sell-off positions. And this is how a lot of people make their money, right? They look for the opportunity for people to be over leveraged to the gills, and they just wipe them out. And then after they wipe them out, guess what? It's business as usual. Crime back up.
Will, what do you think about the theory that a lot of people sold Bitcoin or crypto to pay off their margin calls for the stock market that, you know, melted a little bit?
Nah, I don't think the exposure there is that crazy. I think a lot of people that are in crypto are not in stocks, man. I'll just be real. Like I think majority of people in crypto are not in stocks.
I think a lot of people lost their.
A lot of big leverage traders that were talking all through the bull. Everything is easy. I may or may not have saw a YouTube video by one of them recently as well, and you could not shake the face of his. He couldn't even cap. He's like, "Yo, this cycle was a little bit different than the other cycles for me." He's like talking about he lost over $1 million on leverage just from like, I don't know, just from a few months ago. So I think there was a big shakeout. We talked about this before too, where a whole bunch of people made all this money on Trump, gave it right back to the market. I think a lot of people gave money back to the market this cycle, and they're not admitting it. I don't give a fuck if they do, by the way, but a lot of that happened. The amount of P&Ls and all this shit to where it's so quiet now, and it's like people are like giving up or they just completely left the market. It's just very obvious what's going on. Very obvious. People didn't stable up. They just gamble their winnings away.
Yeah, and I mean, but here's the thing. I don't think those people lost everything, and I think they're going to come back to make it all back.
For sure.
Right? Like, And that's the thing a lot of people don't realize. Like, there's a lot of people calling for, like, 30K Bitcoin, 20K Bitcoin. Like, I don't even bother with those people. But the reality is like, the likeliness of retesting all-time high, it's likely at some point, but we're not going to go straight there. That's why I hate when, like, people are like, oh yeah, 60K is the next target. It's like, bro, we're not going straight down to the bottom in, like, literally a month. You got to have brain damage to think that that's going to happen. There's levels, right? And there's liquidity ranges. And there's areas where price is going to rebound because there are bids sitting there waiting for price to come back to those ranges. And again, that's another reason for a liquidation event too. Keep that in mind, Track, is that you can create liquidation events if you think you can get back down to your target price where you want to buy. And that's another reason people will do this too. They'll literally liquidate people. They'll short leverage against the longs, push the shorts down, and then basically shove price into the longs, and then start liquidating all the longs, push the price down to where they want to bid, and then they start bidding the range. And that's usually just the previous consolidation range, which is basically where we've landed here. Now, again, ideally, we got to get back above this 90K. That's the biggest thing, man. Like, you got to get back above the 90K, and then you got to get back above the 100K. Those are your hurdles. Once you get back in those ranges, you can run with it.
What's up, Machiavelli? How's your day going?
Yo, I'm doing phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? It's nice to see a little green in the market, but just plotting, strategizing. Had a good onboarding event today. Solana Discord. We got a little Solana gaming event coming up on Wednesday. Another awesome, spectacular show going to be this coming weekend with the Flingers. And that founder's putting on a little bit of a spectacle, so I'd pay attention if you guys are out front. But no, man, I'm just out here selling a social experience. It just happens to be on crypto rails,
I love that. That was well said.
In-game user-owned assets, profits. That's all it is. It's not an NFT. It's a collectible. You know what I mean? It's
right.
Made for the masses.
Right. No, 100%. I thought this tweet was pretty funny from the OX Mario Nafal account. It says, and you're gonna see why I think it's funny, by the way, guys. It's you'll see in a second. But it says bullying Indians, Pakistanis, Nigerians, or anyone else because of where they're from doesn't make you funny. It just shows what kind of scumbag you are. CT has always been about merit, not nationality or skin color. If you're still making these types of jokes, you're not funny. Do better. Nothing better than moralistic tweets coming from an asswipe like that. Oh, man, we love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. I mean, we could scam and fucking take all the money from the Pakistanis, Nigerians, Spanish, white. But hey, make a joke about them, it's an issue, right? See how it is. I see how it is. X Factor, what's new in AI land, prediction markets land?
Oh man, there's bro, the AI space is moving like so rapidly. The development is insane. Especially, I'm demoing, and we ran a hackathon here at Cyber, and I'm demoing and like just watching what people are building and doing. Some of it is trash, I'm not gonna lie, but a bunch of it is actually really cool stuff that could be freaking game changing. But on the prediction market side, we have. And I think we discussed this already, right? Like I haven't been too actively involved in the day to day because I've been busy with other shit. But like Kalshi and Polymarket are integrating into Coinbase directly to go ahead and get the mass adoption going on in the Polymarket space. So that's kind of, or in the prediction market space. So that's kind of cool. I mean, the more I guess common that it becomes, the easier it's going to be for people to just get onboarded eventually. I mean, everybody's going to be on chain and they don't even know it, which is good for us, right?
I think there's going to be 10 other accounts, prediction markets to come out, and I feel like the best one's not even out yet.
Wow, damn! To compete with Polymarket and Kalshi, I mean, that's a lot of bread that has to be thrown around because it's quickly becoming a field that's a heavyweight, right? You got to come in with size, but I don't know about 10, but I could definitely see different partnerships being rolled out to kind of try to get these guys going as there's more clarity with regulations, profits, because that's one of the biggest things that is kind of scary for everybody involved in prediction markets right now. The pushback from regular sports betting brick and mortar casinos is coming. They can't continue operating in this like little gray area without any sort of regulation, and that's going to be the next legal battle and hurdle, I think, for these guys.
Well said. I'm bullish as fuck on base. I just want to buy everything launching on there.
Bro, okay, can we just cover? Did we talk about Monad already launching and shit?
A little bit. We were just talking about airdrops. I was over here panicking, not finding my airdrop, but I just found it, so I'm happy now.
Okay, so hear me out here. This ecosystem just supported the most insane valuation that you could possibly get for a blockchain that has nothing behind it. I mean, what's fuck, man, I'll find the tweet really quick. But if you don't believe in the base cabal and the motion that they have, like they literally just launched this Bitcoin, this blockchain, 150x oversubscribed at an insane valuation, and people are saying that